Let me say something that most dating coaches won't. Being a man isn't about suppressing your desire for a woman, it's about understanding it, owning it, and never letting it control you. Yes, I believe men should be bold. I believe that you should be honest with your attraction. You should walk up to her, look her in the eye, and ask her out like a man who knows what he wants. But there's a fine line between approaching with intention and chasing out off desperation. And unfortunately, that's where most men fall apart, approaching versus chasing. The invisible difference. A confident man expresses his interest. If she's not interested, he simply moves on. No begging, no proving, not kissing, because he knows that rejection isn't the end of the world. It's part of selection process. It's not a personal insult. It's just feedback. But man who keeps trying, who keeps texting, checking her story, liking every picture, hoping she finally sees his worth, that man is bleeding his value drop by drop. They say if you're chasing something, it means it's running from you. And that couldn't be more true when it comes to women. Why chasing fails every single time? Let's get real for a second. Even if you do manage to convince her to give you a chance by kissing her endlessly, the entire foundation of the relationship is already cracked. Here's why. 1. The favor mentality. She feels like she's doing you a favor, like she's settling, not coosing. And that feeling kills attraction before it even begins. She's not with you because of genuine spark or desire. She's with you because you wore her down. That's not chemistry, that's compromise. And compromises don't light fires. They burn bridges. 2. The dominance dynamic is off. From the moment you start chasing, you lose leverage because now she holds the power and you're the one trying to win. However, whether she realizes it or not, she sees that imbalance and instinctively pulls away even more. Desperation is attractive. It never was and never will be. When you chase, you signal neediness. And neediness whispers, I'm not enough on my own. Please complete me. And that's never what women want to hear, no matter what they say. Reality check. The attention economy is broken. You need to understand the cold reality of modern dating. Women are drowning in free attention. From DMs to comments to booble taps to creepy stares on the street, it's all there, constant, unrelenting. So, what happens to a man's attention in a world like that? It gets devalued, just like currency in an oversaturated market. When there's too much of something, it becomes cheap. So the more attention you give away freely, the more you blend into the background of the other thousand guys doing the same thing. If you're giving all your energy away trying to win someone over, you've already lost your value. What should you do instead? The real question is, why are you chasing in the first place? An uncomfortable answer is because nothing inside you feels incomplete. What lies at the center of your life? Let's get brutally honest. Most men who chase women endlessly aren't doing it because they're madly in love. They're doing it because they don't know who they are without that validation. Somewhere along the way, they started using female attention as a shortcut to self-worth. A woman's approval became a mirror through which they judged themselves. But here's the problem. If your self-esteem is built on someone else's reaction to you, it will always be fragile. That's why rejection hurts more than it should. That's why ghosting wrecks your confidence. That's why you feel less than just because she didn't text back. Not because she took anything from you, but because you were already empty. Stop using women as your self-worth shortcut. A man who hasn't done the inner work to feel valuable on his own will constantly reach outward looking for something or someone to fill void. That's when women become a coping mechanism, not a companion. But there's the truth. Real men build their value. They don't beg for it. If you want to stand out from the noise, if you want to attract high-quality women without chasing, you have to become the man of substance that they gravitate toward. No gimmicks, no manipulation, just strength, discipline, confidence, and purpose. The wolf analogy, become the master of terrain. There's a saying I love. If you want to hunt wolves, don't wander aimlessly through the woods. Become the master of the terrain. Let that sink in. Most men are aimlessly roaming through the dating world, hoping, praying, chasing. But the high-value man, he's too busy mastering the terrain of his own life. His goals, his finances, his mindset, his health, his craft. And when he becomes that kind-off man, he doesn't need to chase wolves. Wolves start appearing at the edge of the forest. Curious, watching, drawn to the scent of power. Step 2, get comfortable with who you are. Here's a challenge that requires raw honesty. Ask yourself, if I were a woman, would I be attracted to me? Let that question hit you. Let it sting if it needs to. Because if your answer is no, then you've just uncovered the most important reject of your life. You start by embracing your strengths. Own them unapologetic ally. Then just as importantly, accept your weaknesses, not with shame, but with clarity, because once you accept them, you can work on them. Growth becomes deliberate. Your confidence becomes earned. Don't conform, don't perform. Be real. Now. Here's the trap that many men fall into once they start doing the work. They start putting on a performance. They act like they've got it all together. They play confident. They play masculine. But it's just that a play, and women can spot that from a mile away. We live in a world that pressures men to fit into neatly packaged molds. Be strong. Don't be too emotional. Have a status. Have game. But the second you try to be someone you're not, just to gain a woman's approval, you've already lost yourself. And the irony, the real you is what makes you attractive in the first place. Authenticity is magnetic. It pulls people in without even trying. Step 3. Communicate your worth without saying a word. Let's be clear, high-value men don't chase, they attract. And the way they do that is by communicating their worth not through words, but through presence, because you don't have to announce value in. You embody it. Think about this. Alien doesn't roar to prove he's a lion. A king doesn't explain his crown. And aerial man doesn't beg to be noticed. His presence demands attention. This is where so many men go wrong. They try to talk their way into a woman's heart. They think if they just say the right things, impress her enough, validate her often, she'd be interested. But interest isn't created by words. It's created by energy. And energy is built through action. Let your actions speak louder than your expectations. So, how do you actually communicate your worth? You do it through confident body language, shoulders back, eye contact, calm pacing, personal boundaries, knowing when to say no and walk away, consistency in habits, hitting the gym, building your business, mastering your craft, purposeful silence. Because not every moment needs to be filled with words to prove you're worthy. The truth is, women don't fall for talk, they fall for truth. And truth is shown in what you live, not just what you say. Live authentically. That's what sets you apart, when you live in full alignment with your values, goals, and passions. When you are authentically you, not performing, not pretending, you become Rari. And in a world where most men are reaching to be something, a man who simply is becomes impossible to ignore. You didn't need to compete with every guy in her Demas. You don't need to play games. Or follow rules from some pickup handbook base while they're trying to get her. You're too busy being the man she naturally wants to get close to. The truth about modern dating, her inbox is full, but her heart is starved. Let me say this bluntly. She might have 1,000 followers. She might get dozens of compliments daily. She might even seem like she's out of your league. But behind all that noise, most women are still waiting for that one man. The one who doesn't need to chase. The one who's too focused on becoming great to beg for crumbs. The one whose attention feels earned, not given away freely. Because here's the psychology. We value what we work for. If your attention is free, it's seen as worthless. But if your attention is selective, it becomes treasured. That's why a woman can have 1,000 unread messages, but still obsess over the one man who didn't double text their back. Dating is a power dynamic, only ours. Think of the early stages of dating like a negotiation. The one with most power is the one who can walk away. The one who's desperate for that deal to go through has the least leverage. And the woman can sense that desperation every time. So instead of chasing, hold your frame. Let her come into your world, not the other way around. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you are genuine about becoming your best self. The harsh truth most men avoid. Let's end with uncomfortable truth that frees you on, so accept it. Attraction is not a negotiation. You can't talk someone into being attracted to you. You can't logic convince or chase your way into somniums. Heart, you can't force desire. You either spark it or you don't. So if a woman isn't showing interest, don't take it as a challenge. Take it as a message and walk away. Because when you chase someone who doesn't want you, you're not trying to win her over. You're trying to convince yourself that you're enough. But here's the twist. You were enough all along. You just forgot it when you made her attention your mirror. Redirect that energy toward the right target, you. So what's the solution? Take all that emotional energy, the desire, the fire, the hunger to be seen and loved, and turn it inward. Instead of chasing her approval, chase your own evolution. Instead of pouring yourself out for a woman who won't look your way, pour into yourself until you become the man even she can't ignore. Take stock of your life, your mindset, your habits, your goals, your appearance, your finances, your self-discipline, and carve yourself into a man who doesn't need to chase because of life he's built does the attracting for him. The irony, you become the man you always wanted to be. Here's the beautiful part. When you stop chasing women and start chasing growth, you didn't just become the man that women admire. You become the man that you admire. The man you look at in the mirror and respect. The man you trust. The man you don't need to hype up because his life speaks louder than any pickup line ever could. This is Sepith. Most men don't want to hear be tall. Men need to. This isn't a trick, it's not some reverse psychology. It's the long road. The real road. The only road that leads to lasting success with women, with life, and most importantly with yourself. Because when you live with purpose, when you respect your own time, when you hold your own frame, you stop asking, how do I get her? And you start asking, is she even worth being part of my world? That's where true power lives. Final words, let her go if she doesn't choose you. Look, if a woman doesn't see your worth, if she doesn't interpret your energy, if she's interested, let her go because someone else will. Someone who respects what you've built. Someone who doesn't need convincing. Someone who sees you, chooses you, and adds value to your already powerful life. So to all my men out there, keep your honor intact. Keep your standard high. Keep becoming that man. Because when you do, you'll never have to chase again. If this video hit you hard, if it made you rethink what you've been doing, then don't leave without hitting that like button. Subscribe to our Stoic and turn on the bell so you never miss the insights they never teach you in school but change your life forever. And comment below. Have you ever chased a woman and regretted it? Or have you experienced what happens when you stop chasing and focus on yourself? Let's build a community of men who let themselves first. Until next time, this is Amelia helping you reclaim your power and decode their on Stoic off modern attraction. See you in the next tone.